first impressions, did any of you think that the final act was the weakest part of this movie? And I'm curious, honest answer. Go ahead. I'll start with you, Piz.
I usually think the final act is the weakest part of any Scream movie, really.
Okay.
I can't, I hate the overly verbose, mind-numbing, coma-inducing killer reveal and
Just
motivation
fucking
dump.
kill me.
Yeah, just get it over with. You kill people because you're crazy, and let's get it done. You know.
Yeah.
I will say this for Scream 6. Yes, it's got the reveal and the motivation dump, but I felt like it was brief and less painful than others.
Yeah.
So I'll give Scream 6 that. I wouldn't say it's the weakest part of the movie. I don't know if there is a weak part of this movie, to be perfectly honest. And
Okay.
you brought something up that I touch on in my review too. I didn't take this movie seriously at all, and that helped me. That helped with my enjoyment of it. Like I've kind of got early on. Okay, this is the kind of movie you just go with the flow. Don't take it seriously, because there's this silliness to the movie. And it's not like a dark humor or like the kind of humor that you got with like the first Scream. It's just kind of silly. And I dug that. And so I just said, okay, whatever happens, happens. I'm not going to take it seriously. And that helped with my enjoyment.
That's a good answer. You have passed the test. Cody?
So I like the ending. I thought it was a little The one thing is, and I know because I'm used to the older Scream movies where they would hire 30-year-olds to play high school and college students, where now they hire high school or college students. So when they took off the mask, you're like, oh, I could probably beat all of them up, kind of like, or, it's like, I'm not really, because the ghost face was like, oh my gosh, don't want to mess with this ghost face. And then they take the masks off and you're like, I'm not really afraid of you now. But I did like it. I like how it mirrored part 2, where it was instead of the mom coming back for revenge, it was the dad coming back for revenge.
Yeah.
But
I like that. I do like that.
Yeah. I do think it was probably the weakest part of the movie, but I did really enjoy it. But I do know that nobody's been happy with the ending of the killer reveal since probably the third one is when people started being like, I don't like, maybe even the second one people didn't like. But I don't think we're ever going to get that feeling we had from the first one. No matter what we do, or not matter what we do, but with whatever they do, we're never going to get that feeling we did from
Stu
the first
lives,
one.
Baby. Bring Stu back and we'll get it.
We're going to talk about Stu. Don't you worry.
And I'm one of those people who the killer reveal is a big part, but then also that 20-minute dialogue is another big part. I'm someone who likes that 20-minute monologue of why they're doing it. So it's 50% who the killer is, and then 50% of why they're doing it. So I know a lot of, like Piz said, he's done with those 20-minute monologues. Those are something I love. And I thought this one was a lot shorter, and I loved how they all died. I love that the TV came back from Stu. I love Stu's TV's back. That was awesome.
I would say Scream final acts are theater. It's almost like, okay, now let's stop. We're on a theater stage. Let's let this cast act this entire thing out. And that's what it feels like. It feels
that's
like
the best way to put it too.
Since I'm talking, I guess I'll say my overall thoughts on the final act. To unpack it, the 3 killers. All right. I think they kind of cancel each other out, because I don't think we really get to know Quinn and Ethan enough to care. So that's one problem. Then you got the dad, Bailey, who I don't think it's a character that's really earned his intelligence. And he's supposed to be to be able to pull off a freaking scheme like he has pulled off, you got to be a highly intelligent type of character. You're a cop. And as I'm watching this character throughout the movie, I just don't feel like he doesn't come across as a genius. He sometimes he even comes across as the opposite. So the way it all panned out, and the performances were just so loud and over the not loud. Loud doesn't bother me, but just really kind of psychotic and over the top. And then also the shrine, and this was one of my issues is, and this could fall into what I want. I'll be fair. When I saw that shrine in the trailer, I wanted something epic. Oh, they're showing the previous Ghostface killers. We've never done this before. This could be amazing. And I was thinking, man, that final act, it could really. And instead, we get a pissed off family final act that is almost like unviable. So yeah, you can. There's a lot of things that really annoyed the shit out of me with the final act of the movie. Is it entertaining to watch? Yeah, I think it's entertaining to watch, but is it satisfying given the setting and all those, legacy killers? And yeah, I'll admit too, when she walks by and sees like Jill's outfit, I got chilled. I was like, oh my God, that's fucking Jill from part 4.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, So just little stuff like that was cool. But also to be able to acquire all that, that, because we're not talking about all this is from Woodsboro. This happened in Woodsboro. This happened in Hollywood. And I think maybe a couple other places, maybe not, but to be able to acquire all that evidence, no easy feat. So, and I know I'm nitpicking here, but it's just, these ideas just kind of jumped out at me as I was watching. It's like, wow, to be able to acquire all that stuff. Holy shit. So,
well, like they said, they had that line where it's like, cops are underpaid and you give them money, they'll get rid of old, and like, they don't need that stuff anymore.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, for me on the final act, I knew Dermot Mulroney and Jack Champion were both killers. Thank you, Adam. I wasn't surprised when that happened. I loved how they handled it though. When it was like, it's you. And he goes, of course it's me. Like, I loved that dialogue. Because it's like, duh, you should have seen this coming, idiot. Like, I again, that's Scream having fun with itself. And I was shocked at Quinn though, because I did believe she was dead. And looking back on the movie, most of the intense sequences where Ghostface was an animal, it was Detective Bailey. The bodega was Detective Bailey. Like, the apartment, Detective Bailey. So like, I can buy all that. I feel like Ethan and Quinn had Gail's scene. And when you watch that, it makes sense because Gail kind of messes her up, like really does. Like, yeah, that's a fair fight. And then the subway, so like I bought all that. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. I did not love it, but I haven't loved a Scream reveal since Scream 3. And I just haven't. I've just probably mildly enjoyed them or quite liked them, but not loved them. I've always said with Scream, it's not about the who though. For me, it's about the why. And I really liked the why in this movie because the why was simply just good old fashioned revenge. You killed my firstborn son. And now everyone on the internet, another play, God, Matt and Tyler really do understand this generation. They really, really do. And it was a whole play on now everyone thinks he's a monster, but they don't know what you really did to him. And they're right in the way of like, you brutalized him. You didn't need to do that. But at the same time, he was a psychopath. So he had it coming. But they didn't like his image being defamed and they didn't like that she killed him. So it was just good old fashioned revenge. And I did not mind that motivation whatsoever.
Piz, you look like you were wanting to say something.
I don't know. I think maybe we expect too much. Part of the reason why I tempered my expectations for this movie is because I felt like I expected too much of 5. Because I thought, okay, the radio silence people, they're going to come in. It's going to be a fresh take. They're going to mix things up. I really loved Ready or Not. And, we really didn't get that with 5. And part of me was disappointed with that. So part of the deal I made with 6 was to just kind of, I'm not going to expect too much of it. And I think countless people in the chat, and I know people, they want Stu back. They want that reveal to be, it's Stu. Stu's behind it all. Stu. That's never going to happen. I don't think it's always just going to be some random people who have some sort of gripe, or it's going to be the boyfriend again, or it's going to be some revenge plot. It's just going to be a couple of random people or 3 random people. And like, if they really want to mix things up, they're going to go, wait a minute. You thought 3 killers. Guess what? We've got 4 killers now. And that'll be, that's like innovation. The innovation.
There were 5 in this movie. One of them was in a refrigerator, but
the big innovation with this movie is the setting. period. That's as far as they're going to go with innovation. I'm sorry. So the next movie, maybe they'll go, okay, well, now we've got 6 killers. I don't know. That's their idea of innovation. That's all you're going to get. I mean, I think we expect too much from these reveals. Like it's going to be
Holly brings up a good point about something different. That's something they promised in the trailer. I do think they did give us something different, especially in the opening where they showed the killer. Then you got 3 killers at the end. You got one scene where both killers in ghost face masks are holding a victim and stabbing him. This movie, you know, if I got to be fair, this movie didn't play it safe like 5 did. It took risks and it really pushed the envelope. And you know, it made me, even though I didn't like a lot of it, the things I did like, I loved, you know. And it's weird when you get in that situation with movies, you know, where it's like love, hate, you know. What's up, guys? You are at the end of the DDLive clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So thank you for watching, and if you want to watch more, you can go over here, you can go over here, click on one of those, and hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.